repeat that. This is a, I'm going to give her 5. She was supporting that. That brother. He said, I know about the sun. It shines on everything. All right, and I thought about that. I said, you're right. I said, that shows God's mercy, His beneficence, His generosity. He doesn't hold anything back. And we sat here twice a week, and we discussed the Quran, and I tell you some of the insights that they gave me I want to share with you so you can see what is in the soul of our children. When we got to the verse that says, وَالسَّمَاءِ وَمَا بَنَاهَا, the sky as it built up, we started talking about the different levels of the atmosphere and how we have positioning, like in a satellite that allows us to have our cell phones, our satellite TV. This is how they're thinking about the Quran. They're thinking about the Quran in 21st century thinking. And I said then as we were talking, and then we got to discussing about the soul. And I had to help them with this because the soul for most people is a difficult thing. So I told them that if you look at the next verse, it describes the soul. It says, وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا. I said the soul has balance. And in the soul, you have two compartments, two aspects. As I had one of those, you mean two pieces of yeah, that's better. Remember, these are 5, 6, 7-year-old children. I had to be careful of my language because I didn't want to talk over their head. I said, yes, the soul has the fujur and it has the comfort. Right? It has this tendency that seeks enlightenment, called the fujur, and has this tendency, this aspect that seeks to be cautious and want to be very careful about how you do things. And I use this as a segue into talking about human behavior. I said, there's some people who you can't tell them what to do. They're not cautious. They're going to try it anyway. Others are going to be cautious. So you got the fujur, which is curious. You say, look, your mommy say, tell you that if that stove is hot, don't put your hand on it. Some children are not going to put their hand on it. But some of them will do what? They're going to test that theory. They're going to put their hands on it. So you have these two tendencies, these two aspects, two parts. So my point is, people, is that when you bring to the Quran minds that are fresh, that are open to the possibilities of expression, then you can begin to see that, I'll say again, our best hope is in our children. If you can imagine them having an environment like that for 10 years, 15 years, what type of mind do we produce that will address the world of man? And these children are discussing the book of God, but discussing it from a mind that has been born in a technological society. So they're looking at how to apply the Quran today. How can we go forward with the Quran into a technological age unless we have minds that are birthed in this time? Minds that are sensitive, that don't just look at the Quran as something that was revealed 1430 some odd years ago, but look at the Quran that's speaking to me now. And how am I applying it now? That's our challenge. All right? And it's what we call in our Mecca program, nature-based education. Nature-based education is when you take the natural elements and let them speak to the natural mind. That means they understand it. Yeah, they understand mathematics. Mathematics, they understand science. All right, there's this whole push now that's in education they call STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Well, what they're saying is that the knowledge body that we've had thus far has failed now. And we're now returning to look again at how we are applying knowledge. So here we have opportunity. Following the Sunnah of Rasulullah, it says, every child is born according to the fitrah. They're already born with a natural tendency. It is their parents that makes them Christians, saving the Jews, whatever. But what is it telling them? The environment that our children are growing up in, if we continue, I'm talking to us Muslims now, if we continue to allow the Muslim mind that try to come to birth here in America that can address the world of humanity to be educated by those who are not sensitive to the words of God. They want to have a mind that is secular. This is the big thing. They have taken God out of education. We're saying that no. How can you take God out when everything that's in the material creation points to a creator? So whatever or whoever created this is the one we should give acknowledgement to. How can we give credit to a scientist for discovering something? He didn't create it. It was already there. Right? It's like the ocean. You go down the ocean, you find that there's a volcano down there. You can't take credit for that volcano. That volcano been there for eons of time, and whoever or whatever created that to get the credit. This goes, you go into it, you study different microbes, and you find a new microbe, you can't take credit for that. You discovered it. We don't want to know who discovered it, we want to know who created it. That's how deep the knowledge that we want our children to have as they grow in our institutional learning. And we start first with the babies. Why? As I mentioned earlier, not to take anything from any of us, but we have been so corrupted by this world, we can sit in Juma and talk during the Quran. Don't think that? It shows how we have been disconnected from our own needs. We should be hearing what is Allah saying, and more importantly, what is He saying to me? All right, when we come out to our children, I say again, it's our best hope. And for us to grow as a community, we must grow on the principle of human excellence. And that excellence begins with us giving to our children, brothers and sisters. I must speak that, we must be honest, it must be very blunt. I think about this again this morning. I got up my first sleep. I was up maybe 3 o'clock this morning. And I'm sure some of you have these mornings get up, and they allow it to touch your soul. So you get up, you make this tahajjud, then you sit and you reflect. I think to myself, I'm thinking back to thoughts I had about the children during the summer. And just to see the innocence. And it brings me now to my discussion I want to have with you on the zakat. The ayah says, وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. Successful is the one who spends on his own soul, or who makes his own soul pure, or who grows the soul. The word zakat has many variety of meanings. That's multiplicity of meanings. I thought about how if we are to move forward as a community, we must make a principle that's established in our religion the cornerstone of establishing education. Why? Because education, go back to the sun. It shines on everybody. Well, the sun of your knowledge should be that can touch on all subjects. You should be a global thinker. You should see yourself as a global citizen. We want our children to come out of our educational institution with a type of mind where they're not like many of us. We think we have gone from black versus white to Muslim versus Christian. We haven't advanced out thinking nothing. We still are just as color conscious. Now we got new labels. The kuffar, the believers. But hold it. Who's covering up God's mercy? We must look at this verse. We must develop the type of institution that's going to develop minds that can speak to the whole of humanity, just like the sun, and shine on everybody. We don't feel threatened because the person got another way of belief. God is not limited to our concept. Even from the Quran, I said, call on him by name. Call him Ar-Rahman, call him whatever. It's his most beautiful name. Right? But most of us, we read the Quran, we have been conditioned, I should say, we've been conditioned to read the Quran, bringing the baggage that we got before we became Muslims. Many of us were so destroyed, it's so warped by the world, it's hard for us to read the Quran with a pure heart. Our heart is tainted, brothers, but our children, their heart is still pure. And like I say again, just in a few weeks, we went through a certification with discussion, both in English and Arabic. I'm just teaching this Arabic. I don't want to make no sounds. Arabic by itself is not going to save us. You got to know the insight of what the language is saying. All right? But in that time, to see the innocence, it's human innocence that will take you all the way. If you got hang-ups in your mind about other people, other ethnic groups, you got hang-ups in your mind about women, you got hang-ups in your mind about men, you can't read the Quran with a pure heart. I asked some scholars, we say that, it's a simple question. How can we say that the Khalifa is a male when it ends with Tamabuta? That's feminine, brother. I said, wouldn't it be better if we understand this to be a principle that's in every human soul, because the Tamabuta goes back to the nest. The nest is feminine. I know many of you who have read the Quran, studied the Quran, we have been corrupted. Because you read the Quran with colored glasses on how to fight against Western philosophical thought, rather than reading of the purity of the Quran, we read it trying to counteract the West. They're not our teachers. We read the Quran with purity of intent. So we make our need up first. So with our children, we have an opportunity to develop a mind, not a biology or a sex being. That's small. And most of you brothers who get old, you know that's small, because in time, you lose that sex drive. This society has you so whacked up, you have all kind of Viagra sales. Here you are, you're an old man, you died. The only thing that's still alive in you is the effect of those pills. Come on, man. You are more than that. You are more than that. And you raise your children with the type of mind where they see themselves as being the instrument of God in the material world. The human mind, not male, not female, but the human mind is put into the material creation to cause the creation to increase itself, to give zakat to the creation. And likewise, the creation gives zakat to you. Let me give you an example. God said, وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. Successful is the one who cultivates zakat. What is the had? The had goes back to the soul. That's what we're talking about. When you cultivate your soul expands. Your soul expands. And an example is given in the Quran by this term. Hub. Ha, bad with shade. Now most people know this as being, this word has a double meaning now. You got to think deeply when you read the Quran. Allah says when you take a grain of corn and put it in the ground, it multiplies. 7 years, and then each year is 100 grains, right? So that's 700 times, right? But that same word means love. To multiply yourself, you must have love. See, God is speaking on different levels. It's like you call your husband, you call your wife, Habibi, my love. The same root is there, the same word is there. So to have, and then God gives us insight in this. It says, you can never obtain righteousness until you give out of that which you love. All right? So God is showing us this word, this idea of the seed multiplies. So if you want to multiply yourself, you plant seeds. Well, human beings, our seeds are our children. That's our future. You and I are sons and daughters of Adam. Our eternal life is in our offspring. We're not angels. We don't live forever.